The following unofficial rebroadcast of Twit Live is brought to you by Odd TV and CashFly. CashFly's global network delivers your content, ensuring your website, streaming media, and downloads exceed expectations at cashfly.com.
No, I think anybody who works with Adam knows that that's part of the shtick, right? The abuse. I'm sure he'll abuse me if I'm lucky. I think it was a bit. Yes, it was a bit. Mike, I would love to. In fact, one of the shows that we've always wanted to do and always pitched is the idea of having an interview show, a one-on-one show. I love doing that. Frankly, it's the most satisfying thing you could do. More and more, I'm really thinking that what makes this job fun for me, and I think makes good content, is conversations. Right? It's really just about conversations. So the idea of having somebody come in and having a conversation with them is a great idea. It's something we'd really like to do. The issue for us right now is production. We'd have to dedicate a producer to finding guests. Now, if we hire, we're going to hire a line producer if this partnership ever happens. I think it's up in the air again. But if the partnership that we're talking about ever happens, then we'll hire a line producer, and that person can also book guests. So I think it's very likely that at some point we'll do a one-on-one interview show. Kevin Rose, were Ashton and Demi on Dig Nation? Kevin's really moving with the fast crowd. He had Jimmy Fallon, now Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore. Wow, like all the top stars. Oh, you're thinking of CLC Radio. You're thinking of Big Thinkers, and actually Dvorak hosted that. I was on it sometimes, but that was Dvorak's show, Big Thinkers. That was a great show. Oh yeah, Kevin hung out with Ashton they did that Sundance thing, didn't they? Kevin's such a star. All right, let me get this audio to Donnie, and then we can move on. Yeah. Thank you, Nightingale. I'll take a look at that in just a second. I did. I was just showing the Kindle application for the iPhone. I think it's very cool. Yeah. I could kick the ghost out. The Dark Tipper. I knew Kevin Rose when he was our IT guy. The hell with the Dark Tipper. I got to call Apple, too. Shall I leave the mic on when I call Apple? I should. I'll call them. That'll be fun. Mark Edo, you're right. Mark Edo hosted Big Thinkers, and when Mark left, Dvorak took it over. That's right. You know, I haven't met Black Viper. His brother sent me tweeted me the other day. His brother's a big fan. Maybe I should tweet him back and see if we can get Black Viper on. I can't put them on the air. You can hear my side of it. La 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 la. Where did I stick this? There it is. Leo, voice track, Adam. I don't think I'll be able to use that on the radio show. I slam satellite radio. I slam broadcast radio. I swear a few words. There's nothing I can. There's nothing there for me. All right. How's the server been today? It's been reliable? Yeah, they one of the things that the satellite radio guys is really hurting them is that people aren't buying new cars anymore or as much, and most of their growth came from people who bought cars with satellite radios, and without that, what do you got? I think I'm going to get the most powerful Mac I can get, right? Because we'll grow into it. I was debating. In fact, I should talk to Ryan about this. He's the expert. We're not going to get HD, by the way, out of BitGravity. They support HD. We're not going to go for HD. I don't think you want us to go for HD. You wouldn't be able to watch it. I think this quality, it'll be roughly the same stream bit rate. The quality will be roughly the same. It just should be smoother because what happened to my computer went black. That's not good. It's just black. Stupid Macintosh. What happened? Hello, computer. I don't think BitGravity has problems with delivery. I think you'll be very pleased. They do a dedicated CDN. No, BitGravity's not in Australia. Hello. Well, it didn't get unplugged. It just went black for me. It's very frustrating. I think this thing has been dying.
Windows is installing on the fourth Skype machine.
Great. And you got the CD burner, right? Or the CD player?
Yeah, that's how I'm using it.
Gotcha, good.
I know the other one I'm updating just on the Skype.
So we can configure what the bandwidth usage is on BitGravity. One of the things that their player does, which is kind of cool, is it does auto adjusts for the bandwidth you have. So, but we get to say how much bandwidth we're using. So there it goes. So it may be that some people, believe me, you don't want us to go. I can go HD right now. You wouldn't be able to get it, or not HD, but I can go very high quality.
Well, I think if we go high quality, you can set it up all the way, and it'll just scale down.
Well, let's see. I don't know how well that works, but yeah, we'll see. You know, it does look like it might have crashed. Or maybe the mouse stopped. Oh, you know what? This USB might be working because the keyboard was like here. Oh, there we go. Might just been a flaky USB thing. One of the things I like is that we can design a variety of players too. So we have a lot of control over what you get on the player. There's no way you're going to be able to see HD. So what's the minimum bit rate for an HD signal? It's probably 1.5 megabits. I think a lot of people think they have 1.5 megabits. You know, if I go to speed test, I get 20 megabits a second. Yeah, but sustain 1.5 is a lot harder to do, and I don't think I think you overestimate. I'll tell you what. Watch this. Watch this. I will go to 1 megabit on this stream. We'll be right back. This is going to go to 1 megabit. You tell me how it looks. So this is a 1 megabit. look at on our. Now we have a 20 megabit Comcast. That's good. You get about 1 frame every 5 seconds. This is 1 megabit. So people who think you could do high def, you can't do high def. How many of you can see this? Oh, you're on OC12. Okay, good. Well, if you're on an OC12, you should be able to get it. All right. Well, I'll just leave it like this. It's funny. It really is dead on our side. Maybe that. I don't see why that would make any difference, but it is. It really is. The machine is like. Of course, this is a Mac Mini, and there's other stuff going on. In any event, I think. By the way, the quality isn't twice as good.
Try pulling it up on your iMac.
Huh?
See if your iMac can do it.
I got other things to do. It's not. I got. So I think really the truth is it's best to get as good a quality as we can at a reasonable bandwidth, which you'll see. Just be patient. Just be patient. Trust me. I think I know what I'm doing here. I might be wrong, and if I am, we'll punt. What we're hoping to do, and it's really going to be up to StickM, what we've asked StickM to do is to maintain our StickM feed and do BitGravity. Right now, our deal with StickM is exclusive, and that poses some problems with us, particularly if StickM goes down. So we've asked StickM. We have a 30-day out with them. We've exercised that out. We sent them a certified mail yesterday saying we'd like to exercise that out. We would like to terminate our exclusive relationship with you, but we would like to keep streaming on StickM as well as stream on another service on BitGravity. Yeah, I mean, I would say 1 in 5 can get the megabit, but it's kind of important to me that everybody be able to watch, or not obviously everybody can't. One of the things what we'll probably do with StickM is do a lower quality stream, say a 100 kilobit stream on StickM, for people who are either limited on bandwidth or, much more to the point, have bandwidth caps. A lot of our audience in Australia, for instance, can't watch at any time that they want because they have a bandwidth cap, very low bandwidth caps. Let me go to the 100 kilobits. This is probably what we're going to do on StickM. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So this is lower quality. The frame rate's lower. Boy, that's really pretty bad, isn't it? Maybe we won't do this. That really looks awful. We might be able to improve this by in other ways, but that really is terrible. See, 100 kilobits shouldn't should reduce the quality, not the frame rate, right? Hold on. All right, so this is half as much as the 500. This is about 250. Let's see how this works. The audio is really bad. All right, let me fix the audio. How's that? Does that look better? So the audio settings, I just changed the audio settings to 48 kilobit MP3 from I had lowered it to 32, and you guys didn't like that. So we're back at the 48. This is 200 kilobit VP6 video. And I know you guys want VP6 because it's easier to record and so forth. And this is 48 kilobit MP3. Anyway. So the problem is, like, different people get different results, unfortunately. Yeah, I'll go back to 500. Maybe we'll just keep sticking at 500. I mean, we're going to have to play with it, obviously. All right, so we're back to 500 VP6. I really got to upload the... Oh, Twit Live's down. Great. Jeez Louise. No, I was on H.264 yesterday. Yeah. Well, I guess the way it gets it down 100 kilobits per second. Good. Live.twit.tv's down. I'm going to just kill myself. We're going to move that to a static page, I think. I mean, to a different server. It is a static page. Oh, I give up. I give up. All right. Really? Oh, maybe it got moved and it hasn't been updated. Yeah, that would be... I'm in the middle of something right now, Ryan, but hold on just a sec. Okay, Bear moved it. Okay. So OpenDNS hasn't propagated to OpenDNS yet. Probably, Bear, would have been better to keep the old... I guess we couldn't, huh? You couldn't have two. There's Bear. Hey. Hey. That's, yeah, but I guess it didn't do that for some reason. Because my OpenDNS is, let me try it on this one. Let's see here. Okay, mine says it's just not loading. This is what OpenDNS says. I'm putting it up on the screen. See which name servers are failing. There you go. I love OpenDNS. Soft layer, well, we know that. It doesn't say which one, though. Looking for who's responsible for root zone, followed a.rootservers.net. Who's responsible for TV, who's responsible for twit.tv, NS1. Well, but that doesn't, I mean, it would be ns1.softlayer.com in either case. What it means is it's still looking at SoftLayer, and SoftLayer has been told, SoftLayer does it immediately. When you change DNS on SoftLayer, it changes it right away. So, yeah, well, that's good. And I haven't had a lot of people reporting problems, so that's good. So it's coming off of leoville.tv now. Troubled says he's seeing it on 75.126.6.188. That's the old server, isn't it? Let me see what... let me ping it from here. Yeah, I'm also getting 188 on this one. So that's what... yeah, so something's wrong with the... You know, Plesk does weird crap with subdomains. It doesn't do the subdomains like you and I do. Uh-huh. Right. Right. That seems like the way to do it, but right now it's not responding at all, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe twit.tv is down again. Oh. Actually, you know what? I'm not getting twit.tv. I think twit.tv is down again. That's what's going on. So I am still on the old IP address, and twit.tv is down. Thanks, Bear. Yeah, there must be a load spike. Everybody's trying it right now. Everybody's trying to refresh their settings. Thanks, Bear. Don't refresh your settings. Stop. Yeah, Twit's down. It's double whammy. Yeah, you know, you notice the ping comes back right away. So it's not the computer's fine. It's Apache. There's something weird going on. I really don't think we're taxing it. I think something strange is going on. But I'm not the server guy, so. Oh, my sister loved Adam Carolla. Hey, Eva, we got to get you on a regular basis, too, doing my email. Let me call Ryan in a second. First, I'm just going to get Donnie's. I want to send Donnie, the Corolla guy, the file address. It's Leoville. Oh, it'll be down. Shoot. Another small side effect of the incapacitated servers is I can't do what I'll have to do it to a Dropio. How big is it? $41 megs. Yeah, it'll fit on Dropio. All right, let me call Ryan. We'll talk to Ryan. I have questions. Ryan's got answers. Am I done for the day? That was my last thing for the day, right? Yes. All right. Mr. Shrout. Ryan Shrout. Ryan is a beet farmer. He's not online. Maybe Ryan has it set to be invisible. He's invisible. He's online, but he's invisible. I'm going to fill up this drive. I've got 6 gigs left.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey.
So, here's my question. I don't care. I'm not talking about the specific machine.
Right.
But I'm talking about Nehalem. So, because you have a lot of experience with i7s. So, here was the choice. The original Mac Pro that I ordered was
the day before. I love that.
Saturday.
I saw that. It was classic.
They suck. So, hey, we get a different view of the Shrout studio.
Well, this is the new place, so you can see.
Oh, did you get light panels? Or no, those are you got chimeras on those. Yeah.
That's
really
why I was
hot.
asking about color temperatures and stuff.
Yeah, I think you should find
I've
out
had
what
some
color
blank out.
temperature you've got on those lights and match
These
them.
are 3200. I just found out.
So if you can, well, you won't be able to match them exactly, but if you get close to them, then that means you can continue to use them.
Right. That's my thought. I was gonna buy 2 to save some money, save some heat, and then maybe in a couple of months buy 2 more. So that way I could still use 2 of the ones I have here,
right,
and then kind of update as we go.
Yeah, I don't know what the status is. I don't know if Dane was able to get a hold of light panels or not, or whether we can get you some or whatever. Generally, what's happened is they've said,
well, I know they're a lot more expensive. What I'm asking for,
you want the 1x1s. They've been sending out the minis. Yeah.
And that's got a pretty small range and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right. Yeah, no,
Okay.
you need a 1x1s. You probably need 2 1x1s, maybe 3. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in here.
Okay.
So yeah, you need them.
It's because I'm on the top floor. I was in the underground in the basement before.
Oh, you moved up. Oh, cool.
So that helped. So now in the office building that I have moved everything to, I just set it all up today.
Oh, this is the new office. Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So
Anyway,
anyway, so here's my question. Let me pull up the specs on the Apple site.
Okay.
Because I have an Apple order. Basically, it was a 3 gigahertz Xeon. Now, unfortunately, Apple is not real good about giving you part numbers and stuff. I think. But let me see if I can get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if they tell me what I've ordered, because that makes it a little bit hard to figure out exactly what I've got.
If you're trying to, like as far as actual Intel parts.
My position has been that it's very software specific. Just even looking at the benchmarks on PC Perspective, it's very software specific.
Sure.
So if you knew that your application was going to use all 16 threads, it would be worth going with the new one.
Correct.
But this is the first thing I don't think they say the part numbers. It's a 3 gigahertz quad core Intel Xeons, but they don't say if they're 9770s or what.
Well, it won't be if they're.
And it was a GeForce 8800.
Okay.
So that.
And what are you doing on this box?
Well, this is going to run the BitGravity software. So now I asked BitGravity, and I still don't know if I've gotten the definitive response from BitGravity. They said as many cores as you can.
Okay.
So the implication is that they're multi-threaded and they can expand. So
sure.
Now here, in fact, I'll read you what he said. He said, you could run our current software on a MacBook Pro, but if there's lots of things we want to do.
Yeah. Like, are you going to process multiple streams and send them out, or are you going to send out one stream and have them do it?
Exactly, that's possible. We may, for instance, let me see if I can find. Okay, blah blah blah. So I said, what is the sweet spot for CPU and RAM?
Mm-hmm. Because you're right.
I should get Ed on the line, because the director of engineering is probably the guy to talk to.
Yeah.
But the impression I got, he said you could run it on a MacBook Pro. He said two cores is good, but he said, but we have all these things we want to do down the road, and if you want to be able to do them, and I think I do. He said, now this was before. He said get the 3 gigahertz. The one that I ordered.
And now they don't have 3 gigahertz.
Now they don't have it. So here's the deal. The clock speed's down.
Yep.
So if it were a single-threaded application, and I think your benchmark showed this, the QX9770 was faster on single-threaded applications than the Halem.
Yeah. It's pretty close. It's almost identical if it's a single-threaded application.
At the same clock speed, or even at the lower Halem clock speed?
At the same clock speed.
Well, see, we're talking a lower clock speed, though.
Right, here we are. But I mean, you can go up to 2.93
for $1,600.
Are you looking at the dual CPU system?
So let me show you the configurations of the Mac. These are the new Mac Pros. So the new Mac Pros, there's 3 different configurations. The baseline, which is, by the way, $3,299, is 2.26 i7s. They don't say which i7, but
so you're looking at dual CPU systems, because I'm on the Apple Store and I only see like 2 base systems. One
is
with
single core
processor,
and one is dual core. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at dual core.
Okay.
And the dual cores
start at $3,299.
If you add $1,400, $1,400, you can go from 2.26 to 2.66.
Yeah.
Add $2,600, you can go to 2.93. So I guess that's really, at base, that's my question. Assuming that I want to go to i7, I'm comparing dual Xeons of some unknown kind at 3 gigahertz.
Mm-hmm.
The price point is almost the same for the 266. Is
I think
266 faster than 3?
If you're talking about a single-threaded application, I'm going to say no.
Right.
But you keep in mind, you're getting 2 processors, 8 cores. Is that right?
Yeah, and it's hyper-threaded, so it's 16.
Right. Well, on the original one, you're getting 2 processors, 8 cores.
Right.
So 8 threads. This system, you'll get 2 processors, 8 cores, 16 threads.
Right.
Which is a lot.
But I mean, it's...
And you also get the advantage of triple-channel memory instead of dual-channel.
Okay. And they it's interesting. Here's another interesting thing. Their base unit is triple. It's 6 sticks of 1 gigabyte RAM.
Yeah, I see that.
But then for $100 more, you can get 4 sticks of 2 gigabytes, which is wrong, right? You should always go multiples of 3, right?
Yeah. So you'll get an advantage in performance going from 6 to 8 if it's if you're using all that memory, maybe. But yeah, you should go from 6 to
12 to 32.
Yeah, you should populate all the channels evenly to get some kind of
I'm surprised they even offer this as a choice.
Yeah, because it looks like they also have an 8 by 2 gig option.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know. Well, they don't have a 24 gig option, which would...
Right.
Well, those are 3 gig modules. They don't really exist, I guess.
Okay. So I was going to stay at 6. I don't think there's any reason for me to get more than 6 gigs of RAM. And I'm certainly not going to buy Apple's RAM.
Yeah, exactly.
Although $300 for another 6 gigs isn't... That's about right.
That's not too bad because,
Should I go to 12?
I would, I guess, if you're going to have 16 threads and you're going to do multiple stuff with it, I might. I wish they hadn't. It shows here that you're going to get 6 1 gig modules at 6 gigs instead of like 3 2 gig modules,
know, it sucks.
which would allow you to upgrade yourself for.
Well, no, it has a ton of slots. I think there's still free room.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's more than 6 slots. It's ridiculous the number of slots they have. But I think you're right.
I see. There's at least 8.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I'm going to get the 6 times 2.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to figure out how many slots there are, but I think there's quite a few slots. It says up to 32 gigs.
Yeah.
So maybe there's 8 slots. 8 slots, I guess. Huh?
I would say, as far as the application goes, if they're saying it will run on a MacBook Pro, which is a
Core 2
system. Yeah, and I'm trying to think of what my clock speed is. System profile.
Oh, it's 266 or something. I mean, it's not.
I'm guessing it's probably at the 2.26. Actually, mine is running at 2.4 on my MacBook.
That's right. Yeah, it's 2.4. Yeah.
So, as far as the clock speed of CPU goes, if you can run it on a MacBook Pro at 2.4 gigahertz, running it at 2.26 gigahertz, which is the base CPU, shouldn't be an issue. And if he's saying the more cores, the better, that indicates to me that it's a highly threaded application, then I wouldn't see a problem with that. And I would be, personally, if I was buying a system for myself like this, I would be hesitant to spend $1,400 to go from 2 to get 400 megahertz.
Okay, that's a good answer. All right.
On
the other hand, if I'm spending this much anyway,
yes,
maybe I should say, well, I don't want to in a year say, oh, I wish I had more headroom. Right. By the way, this expensive machine, and it's going to cost me $4,000 at least, probably $6,000, is doing one thing only. It's not going to be used for anything but streaming. It's just going to sit there and stream all day.
I guess it really depends if you're sending out multiple streams or single.
Well, at some point, we would like to send out multiple streams. One of the things that they do is and I think you're probably right. We would probably need this. We would need more to do. If you go to bitgravity.com/interactive, Brian Shaler did this with Barrett Lyon. This is what they did for Dignation. This is their multi-view player.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So for that, we probably, I'm thinking though they're going to say, oh no, you need 3 Mac Pros. Because we need a FireWire for each of these. It takes FireWire.
See, that could be your bottleneck more than how much processing power you get. Is how much. I mean, I guess you can always buy, depending on how many expansion slots are on the system. You're going to have to buy individual
Each
FireWire
stream
cards
has to have a
for each stream.
FireWire card. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was my problem with this laptop. Is I had to get an add-in card to do the other stream of FireWire through it.
So this is cool because the viewer gets to pick the mixdown. You know, they get to see what they're going to. So I could have a. Now we're not going to use it this often, but every once in a while it'd be fun to have 6 cameras on.
Yeah, that's really cool and looks like a lot of work.
I ain't going to do that. All right, so I'm thinking. Okay, let's just price this out. I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna spend $1,400 more and get 266, which seems crazy. I'm gonna get
right, but
gigs
if you
of
do
RAM.
that, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Then it's $1,200 more to get. What do you get? 270 megahertz more.
Yeah,
so
it's a lot for the megahertz.
yeah, either one it is, but I guess the 1400 is a little bit more price per gigahertz.
Yeah,
kind of.
I mean to go another.
I hate to use that metric, but
that sucks. Any way you use it.
But see, the best part is when you select that radio button for the middle option there, the 2.66, it is only an additional $1,200.
Only.
You can see. So
now, okay, let's talk about video cards. I don't know if BitGravity uses the GPU or not. So
I would wager to bet not.
So here's the GeForce GT 120 is kind of their base, but they do offer
which is a new name to me.
I don't. Oh, really? Yeah, I never heard of it either.
I'm almost positive that is a GeForce 9600 renamed, kind of like the 9800 was recently renamed to the GTS 250.
Well, what do you think of the Radeon 4870?
It's definitely a faster card in terms of like gaming and GPU performance than the GT 120 is going to be. Now, whether or not
it's only $200 more. I mean, it's
but whether or not I don't. If the applications you're going to use, are you going to do like video editing on it?
No.
Okay.
It's not going to do anything but streaming. I mean, it might be that we would place it someday and then use it for video editing.
I'd say you're fine with your GPU as you're at because if it's, I'd bet 99% sure that BitGravity software doesn't use the GPU for anything.
I should find out.
If it does, then I would say get the base card and get something faster than either of these two options if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, you're right, because neither one's that fast. Although the 4870 uses DDR5. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed.
Right. Well, it only exists for graphics cards right now.
DDR5.
But it's not gonna. I'm almost positive. Like in my video editing machine that I've built, it's 8 cores, and I didn't really care what graphics card I put in it.
Right. Well, a lot of Mac software is starting to use GPU.
Mm-hmm. The NVIDIA, I would leave it at what you're at or what the default is there. You're not going to. The other options for 2 or 3 or 4 cards is way overkill. You'll be able to use those PCI Express slots for FireWire cards. The 4870 is going to take up 2 slots on your system.
That solves that. Boom.
And the GT 120 is a single slot.
Done. That solves that.
There you go.
So this is only a $5,000 machine.
$49.99. I'm matching it as we go.
I mean, I could get it down to $35.99 if I go to the 2.26. I guess I need to put a call into BitGravity.
Yeah, and I can tell you exactly what you should ask him.
Okay.
Would be how sensitive is their software to moderate clock speed increases. So that it'll either scale incredibly well going from 2.26 to 2.66 gigahertz, or it will spawn multiple threads. You'll have up to 16 available threads on the system. So, and they may say, well, if you've got that many threads, the clock speed maybe won't matter as much.
All right, let me call Ed right now. Stay on the line.
Sure.
I'm going to ask what I should ask. Yeah, this silly thing is supposed to do the... Isn't the Mac supposed to know
hard
that I've
drive
got my ear? No, I'm not going to... No, what do I need a hard drive for?
You're not saving anything on it?
No. Well, I mean, but it's always cheaper just to buy a hard drive. It's got 4 bays. I'll just get the smallest included hard drive, and if I needed more space, I just
Gotcha.
put a Velociraptor in there or something.
Yeah, $300 for 1 terabyte.
Hey, Ed, Leo Laporte from Twit. I'm great. Oh, you're listening to the conversation. Do you have 30 seconds for me just to ask? Because I want to order this Mac Pro, and I just want to get some insight from you. Because you, I don't know if you wrote the software, but you're pretty intimately familiar with it, I'm sure. It's multi-threaded. If I throw more cores at it, it benefits? Okay. Because I ordered the Mac Pro Saturday, and then they changed it all on me. They went to i7. Is there a benefit to i7 from your point of view for BitGravity?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Is the Nehalem, is the i7 chip a better chip from your point of view, or do you know yet?
I don't know yet. I would say the machine that we originally talked about, the Mac Pro.
The 3 gigahertz.
Exactly. That machine is going to run for HD as an example of this, kind of as fast as you can kind of run the current software through that. It will be about 30% of the machine, all cores running at the same time.
Ah.
So for spikes, you're going to end up getting into like the 60% or even higher depending on the content. So that's why we kind of been recommending that the memory is like, one of the biggest problems in terms of, you don't want things to back up. So that, you're talking about very high bit rates. But the CPUs are also very important so that you can kind of push through and get the encoding done in real time.
Sounds like the i7 has, because it has built-in onboard memory controller, has much faster memory access. Sounds like the i7 will be a benefit for you.
Yeah, it does. It does.
How much RAM do you think we should get?
So obviously we can run this on a Mac Mini. So it just depends on kind of what the.
Well, Ed, we're probably not going to be doing HD, but we would love to be able to be a test bed for you for other interesting technologies like the multi-view and so forth.
Exactly, and so in terms of how much memory I would recommend, since memory is actually one of those things that gets cheaper all the time and it's very easy to replace.
Right.
I certainly would recommend 4 gig right now, given what I know what you're going to be doing with it. But as we come out with more stuff, I can imagine you're going to want to pop another 4 gig in there.
The smallest right now that a Mac Pro you can get is 6 gigs. So,
is that right?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they upped this machine is like crazy, but the clock speeds are lower. That's what concerned me a little bit. Now, i7's clock speeds are a little bit lower, but it has more cores, and of course the microcode is supposedly more efficient, and because stuff is on board now, it's theoretically faster, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
How about GPU? Yeah. Does your software use the GPU at all, or is all CPU bound?
It's actually all. It's actually we use hardware capture cards for HD. But everything else is CPU, and we are just now looking at the GPUs because we were just having a conversation this morning with a high-profile vendor that we'd like to maybe offload some of the processing onto the
right.
GPUs.
Okay.
But we currently don't do that.
Sounds like, frankly, any Mac Pro that we could get at this point would be adequate to do certainly anything we're planning on doing. But I do want to make sure that we have some headroom. So if you guys had something cool that you wanted to try, we could be a test bed for you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Is that you've got, the current solution you're looking at for a single stream, is going to use no more than 30% of that machine.
Right.
And the more we actually add on there, and there's a bunch of things that we've talked about, you can just imagine every time you add another stream, or effectively a virtual stream where you're kind of doing picture-in-picture kind of stuff,
right.
You can just imagine this is just going to eat more and more CPU
yeah.
and more
okay,
and more
that makes
RAM.
sense. Ryan, was there anything else I should ask Ed while I got him on the line?
So he kind of covered the memory footprint there. Is the GPU processing something that would be, months and months down the road? In other words, we don't need to plan for that today.
That's a great question. I really just started looking at this. I would imagine that it's certainly going to be at least a quarter away.
Yeah, I don't mind putting I'll get the base card, and then if you start doing it, I'll buy a newer card.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's an easy thing to do.
We will end up, when we do this, we, of course, will have probably some cards to be able to recommend at that point, too.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Hey, Ed, I really appreciate this. We're going to get this thing as quickly as we can, because I can't wait to get this online.
Hey, Leo, this is awesome, man. I'm really looking forward to it, too.
So are we.
All right, you guys. We have a great day.
You too, Ed. Thanks for your time.
All right, you too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
That's Ed Crump. He is the director of engineering at BitGravity. And there we go. I think that's the horse's mouth.
Yep.
So, good.
So it sounds to me like
I don't know what to do now.
It sounds to me like it will, even the base system will be more than enough.
Yeah.
But it will gobble up as much hardware as you want it to. So, if
I'm gonna spend some money because I really want. I don't want them to come up with something really cool that I can't use.
Right.
This whole thing is built on doing whatever the latest greatest thing is, right?
Yep. So,
what's a few thousand between friends?
Yeah. If you consider Apple a friend, that's fine.
Well, I don't think they're a friend. I think we're a good customer. Somebody said, "How many Mac Pros is that?" We only have two other Mac Pros. One's a G5, one's a dual G5 or a quad G5. Long time ago. That was the first machine we used for a long time. And then a couple of years ago, I upgraded to the first Intel Mac Pro. So it's not like we're buying new Mac Pros every 5 months.
I've never had one. I'm pretty jealous. I thought about getting one.
You don't need one. No one normal needs one.
Right. I thought about getting one for like the video editing stuff. And I thought,
well, you might benefit there.
I've got most of the stuff that's inside one of these in my closet.
That's true. You could build a PC that does it. Yeah. But no, and we're not going to do. It turns out we were thinking we were going to do some heavy video editing. I don't think we're even going to do that. So we'll let Alex Lindsay buy all the high-end stuff. But this is just that's what kind of irks me is that I'm spending $5,000 on a machine that I'm not going to get to use. I mean, I have a 30-inch display. I would love to be able to use this thing, and no, it's going to be busy. It's going to be sitting there. And by
sitting there with no monitor attached, likely.
No, it's going to be headless. It's just going to be sitting there.
That is kind of depressing when you think about it.
It's terribly depressing.
So are you going to go with the 266?
I think so. I can't really justify the outrageous. I mean, that's really outrageous cost of going to the 293.
Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, really?
Well, the prices are a lot higher than what I'm used to seeing.
No kidding.
Because they're Xeon. They're the workstation class servers. Even though, like for instance, the 2.26 Xeon there, that's the base model. Those go for $250 a piece for the consumer when it's the Core i7-920.
But the Xeon probably is $1,000. Don't you think the Xeon is more expensive?
Oh yeah. I don't even.
It's got. Let me see here. If they say something, 8 megabytes L3 cache per processor.
Right.
I don't know if that's not.
That's 8 megs shared per
quad.
Shared for 4 cores on one CPU.
Integrated memory controller, turbo. They don't say what the part number is. Is there only one i7 Xeon?
That's what I'm looking for. And I'm sure there's one for workstation and one for server, probably that has more.
I should have asked him about hard drive. I presume that everything's in memory.
If it's
crazy.
Going to be
They can't possibly.
It's going to be fast at anything.
Well, the whole idea is make this, and that's the other thing is I don't want latency. I want this as real time as possible. You introduce latency in compression and in the network. There's some stuff we can control and some we can't. We can control how much latency there is in getting the stream to BitGravity. At that point, we'll lose control of it. But might as well get that to them as promptly as possible. All right. Well, I'm going to go with 266, 12 gigabytes of RAM.
That's a good.
And I'm not going to upgrade the video card. And that's, it's a good affordable $4,999. And I don't even get to use it.
That's an affordable. Now, you did notice, I don't know if this will affect you here, it says ships in 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, son of a...
That I just saw.
Maybe I'll be moving back to the old one. Gosh darn it. I should go look at refurbs. Where's the refurbs?
Will they still let you complete the order on the one you placed on Saturday?
Yeah, maybe I should, huh? I'm going to call them right now. I'm calling Apple.
I mean, this will be a better overall system. Don't get me wrong, but
but you do get free shipping.
The 2 to 3 weeks, yeah.
Huh?
Press release says they'll be in stores next week.
In stores next week. Yeah, but this is a BTO. That's the problem. They won't have these in the stores. They'll have the base models in the stores.
Right.
We could always add our own RAM, I guess.
You know what? If you just get the base model, it says ships in 4 business days.
Oh,
if
so we should get the base.
Memory,
It's
for
the
some
memory?
reason, if you change the memory, it goes up ships to 2 to 3 weeks.
So it's just the memory.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Okay, well, that's good news. So we'll get the minimum memory. We can always add memory.
Well, you'll have to replace, because remember it's it's giving you 6 1 gigs. So if you get the 8 gig option, if you change the memory at all, it changes it to 2 to 3 weeks, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it means that they have to open it up. They've already got a bunch built,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah,
now
you're right.
they have to open it up. Oh, here's another phone call. Maybe this is from Apple. Maybe it's Steve Jobs.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hi, this is Leo. It is. It's Apple. Hi, Mark. So I have this Mac Pro order, and very kindly, I'm glad that you put a hold on that because you upgraded them. So can I still get that old one? I'm pretty familiar. We've just been going over the new specs. So I'm pretty familiar with what it is. I think we're gonna. I think now. Here's the real issue, Mark. Is I need it pronto. So it looks like any BTO I do is gonna slow it down. If I get it with stock RAM, it says 4 to 6 days. Is that accurate? Okay. Yeah, I want to get it as quickly as possible. It wouldn't be any faster to go get it in the store either, right? I mean, yeah. So here's what I want to change the order to. Actually, let me ask Ryan. Do you think that's I should probably go from the 3 gigahertz to the 266, right?
I would. I would get the Nahalo
We're all in
system
agreement
over
on
the-
that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm asking my tech team here. They all agree. So I think we're going to go to the 266. I guess we'll stay with the stock RAM because I don't want to delay it. And everything else is fine. Everything else is fine. The stock video card. So yeah, leave it at that. So that's only $400 more, I think. Oh yeah? Not 226. We're going to 266. That's why it's a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so let's do that. You have my card on file still? Okay, so yep. The GT120 in there, OneDrive. No monitors, none of that. Actually, should we go wireless keyboard and mouse, you think? No. Okay, we're going to go with a wired keyboard and mouse. So, yeah, I didn't have any other changes to that. Oh, should we get a DisplayPort adapter, Colleen, you think?
DisplayPort to DVI.
We need a mini display to DVI. Not dual link. Yes, dual link, because we have the 30. Has to
Right.
be dual link. Oh, it's $100. So the mini display port, they got you for a $2 part. Mini display port to dual link DVI adapter. Would like to add that as well. Yeah, because we have a 30-inch monitor. Great, Mark. Thank you for calling. I've been meaning to call you, actually. I bet you have. Well, I was glad because when I saw the upgrade, I thought, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to send this back. So I'm glad that they did that. That was a good way to handle it. You got to call everybody. Yay. Well, I thank you. I really appreciate you doing that. So your estimated shipping time is 4 to 6 days? Okay, good. And then I don't know what shipping, let's see, how much does next business day add to the... For free? You're the man. Mark, God bless you. Thank you so much. Apple just got a very big ad, by the way. That's really good. Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah. So let's see, 4 to 6 days. We should get this sometime next week.
Correct.
Mark, thank you so much.
No, not a problem.
Anything else you need from me?
I just need to make sure we've got everything set here. So.
Thank you. That's fantastic. That's correct. Yep. Petaluma 94952. Do you have any estimate of arrival? Or? Oh, good. Okay, thanks. I don't think it comes from Cupertino. I don't think they have a big box in Cupertino. It's probably drop shipped from China, actually.
Well, possibly, but they might also have
Yeah.
for journalists.
I don't do that.
And that looks good. All right, and then, oh yeah, the dual link DVI.
Yeah.
Acceptor.
Yeah. Dual link. Yeah, mini port to dual link. That's great. So you've been calling everybody who had a order for the last few days. Last 5 business days. Good. Halfway done? Oh, man. Where are you located? Austin. Great. Thank you. They're throwing in expedited shipping. That's very kind of them.
There you go.
Yeah. It's very nice. You have no idea who I am, right, Mark? Yeah, I'm Leo Laporte. Yeah. No, I'm just teasing you. Go ahead. they think that I'm somehow pulling some strings to get expedited shipping, but you did that out of the goodness of your heart.
Ask if you can throw some Kool-Aid in.
Okay.
And let's see, the dates. It's going to update for me just here right now. You should probably have that computer next week by. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, it should be here in the U.S. by either Tuesday or Wednesday. So you should have it either by Wednesday or Thursday.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great.
It's pretty fast.
All right. So the old one's been removed and the new one has been set for you.
Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate that.
Anything else I can help you with today?
That's it. You've been
All right,
great.
well,
Thanks.
You're at Apple.
All right. Take care.
You too, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
No, they're calling everybody. That was they have to call everybody because they said everybody who ordered within the last 5 business days, which meant anybody ordered last week, is getting a call saying, "Hey, we really don't want to send you." But you know what's interesting? He said, "We'll sell you. You want the old one? We'll still sell you that." I should say, how much less?
I should ask what the discount was.
What's the discount? Hey, I got free overnight. That's
good.
probably $100, $200 right there. Those things are heavy. So I'm happy about
Yeah.
that. And he just, he didn't know who I was. He just said, I will take care.
We built some rack mount servers that are lighter than a Power Mac or a Mac Pro. Those things are so heavy.
They're really heavy. They're like 30 pounds
and
or 40
they have
pounds.
sharp edges.
Yeah. Well, the new ones are redesigned too, so I don't know. The insides are different.
Maybe
yeah,
they're
the
going
guts
to
are
be
different.
They say it's easier to work on, which is nice because the old ones aren't.
Are they not? I thought they were. Well, you have to trim the cable, and that's what we had to.
Yeah,
that was kind of weird.
And like everything's supposed to pop out, but you always feel like you're going to break it.
Twit AM is feeding dead air. Why? Oh, I know why. Sorry.
Glad I can help you spend your money.
So
That's just $5,000. What is, what's that?
But
It's not like it's
I
gonna
was
be
looking at
valued at all.
Jeez
four of these
Louise.
lights. 4 of these lights were like 6,300.
I know.
It's like a used
This
car.
stuff
You drive
adds
off
up.
The lot, it's,
Where
it's worth just as much
where
as
would
the
you
day
recommend
bought it.
buying them from?
Or
I'd get them
new
from Light Panels. In fact, if you're going to order them
directly?
yeah, we'll get you a discount. If you're going to order them directly, I think we can get 10% or something. Anyway, we'll see what we can get you. So just tell us what you want to get. And I'll have Dane call Pat. He's been very generous with us. I don't think there'll be any problem.
Right.
You could
I don't
probably-
want to impose and try.
No, it's not an imposition at all. But just when you figure out what you want, send us an email. I'll send it, or Dane will send it to Pat, saying, "Hey, this guy's on our show. He wants to buy some. What can you do for him?"
Okay.
I should warn you, they didn't give us a huge discount. But I think they like us better than when we bought them. To be honest with you, I think
Continue to talk about.
Well, I think after he realized how many people were now interested in light panels, they suddenly went, "Ooh," because
Right.
he's been sending out free ones and stuff. He was going to send us 2 more, right? Never did.
Well, I talked to him about it, and he said, just play with the connectors and see if...
Okay, well, maybe he doesn't like us as much as he used to.
Well, no. He answered right away, and he said...
Play with the connector.
No, and he said, we'll get you other ones.
No, but
if
he
you
was.
need
Remember
them.
when he was here? He said, "I want to give you a couple more 1x1s. You need 2 more in here."
Oh, yeah, those never came.
Those never came.
But these ones, he said he'd replace if they were
Yeah, I don't think they're defective. They're just funky,
twitchy.
twitchy. All right, Ryan. Thank you for your help. You
Hey,
helped me spend my money.
There you go.
It's always fun to spend other people's money.
Yeah.
I love spending Leo's money.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And we'll
So-
talk on. Actually, we should talk more about the hardware on Thursday on PC's Perspective, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have
definitely.
more to say about the new Mac hardware since you've already tested most
Before
of it.
you go, Ryan,
Yeah,
is it
did
DDR3
you get
RAM
the
in that
email
Mac Pro?
when it was all announced? I was like, I pointed you back.
I
to
did
the
see
article
that. You knew.
January.
You predicted.
Everything happened except for the 28-inch iMac, which I'm still told is going to be coming.
28. Wow.
Yep.
That's a nice. So it'd be a wide
that
screen.
28-inch iMac should have the Core i7 in it as well. So,
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because
Yep.
everybody was a little perturbed that they didn't put i7 in the iMac. So a new iMac Extreme with a Halo in it. That would be
Right.
cool.
Does the iMac have a mobile processor in it?
No.
no, it's a standard Core 2.
Then again, the
Part.
Core 2 is really a mobile processor.
It has a 9400M
Because that's what I'm thinking.
GPU in it, which
The
is
mobile
kind of weird.
GPU.
Well,
Well,
I don't know.
that chipset's used in desktop motherboards and laptops and stuff like that. So that's the base level now for all Mac products, except for the Mac Pro, I guess, that uses the X58 chipset. So that puts an NVIDIA GPU in every Mac sold, except for
Which
the
is
Mac
great.
Pro. Which is it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's really interesting that they
And the
have.
NVIDIA GPU is already in the Apple TV.
Yes, yeah, you're right. It was in the original Apple TV too, a previous generation, but yeah. So
But I gotta say, I'm not impressed with the graphics card choices on the Mac Pro.
no, actually, I was kind of disappointed by that too. I don't know why the 9600 is the top NVIDIA card that you can get.
I just bought one of those in
Especially-
the store for $90. They're
Yeah.
not high-end cards.
No, they're not. I don't
They've
really
never
get that.
put high-end cards in there, and I think part of the. Although it's funny because the old Mac Pro you can get at least get a Quadro in if you were a graphics professional.
Right.
I guess
Right.
they feel like the 120 or the 4870 is Quadro. No, it's not.
No, it's
They're
not.
not
It's not even
Quadro.
compatible with a lot of programs.
It's not. So it's an interesting. I don't know what that's all about.
And even weirder,
They've
they-
not historically put good
I'll
cards.
try to
in these
dig
things.
something up for tomorrow.
They've rarely put good cards in these things. I have to say, it's not.
Maybe the new cards aren't ready yet because they're Apple versions, right?
I think they also
Yeah,
feel
they
like
do.
there's nobody gaming on the Mac platform.
They
so
cited Call of Duty 4 as how much faster it was on their press release.
It's interesting because obviously my theory on why there's an NVIDIA GPU in every Apple machine now is the move to Snow Leopard and OpenCL and all that cute language change. So they, the GTS 120 or 9600 or whatever you want to call it now will still work with OpenCL, but I would have imagined they would have put a higher performing GPU that supports OpenCL in the Mac Pro.
yeah,
So
because
I'll
there's
ask around and see.
well, and the Pro apps take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand.
Well,
And they
much
will,
more
even
often
more
than the
so.
desktop consumers would. Absolutely. Okay.
It's a puzzle. Thank you.
Peace out, Ryan.
Peace out,
See you
man.
guys.
Thanks for
Bye.
putting off dinner. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was good. So we got Apple, we got BitGravity, we got everybody's input, we got Ryan's input. So now we know definitively that I had to spend $5,000.
No, you could have gotten 5.
I could have just used my
Apple
frickin' Mac Mini.
Maps. Yeah, that's what they have at Rev 3 is 5 Mac Minis.
Is that what they use? 5 Mac Minis? Huh. Good. We'll be better than them. I
Yep.
want to be better than them.
That's easy. Ryan's so dreamy.
He's dreamy. He's the
With his new
dreamy
haircut.
Ryan Shrout. You know, anybody with his own beet farm is my kind of guy.
Beet Farm?
Doesn't he have his own beet farm?
I don't know what the hell you're talking. If he does, I'm gonna
Anywhere,
call him to
right
know
here on
anything.
ABC.com.
Wait a minute.
Introducing our all-new
Dancing
full
with the
episode
Stars.
player.
Wait a minute. Something's going on. Let's see. What's the latest with Steve Wozniak?
ABC brings you all your favorite shows, anytime, anywhere,
All right,
right
all
here
right,
on
all right.
ABC.com.
Thanks. I don't want to run an
Introducing
ABC
our
promo.
all-new full episode player. Search by genre.
Okay, when you
character.
decide you want to show us something that I'm interested in, I'll show it.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
I was thinking on the Skype machines, since it's going to be on screen a lot, we don't want it to really look like, a Windows computer. It's kind of boring.
Right.
What do you think about putting Launchy on it and running something like BB Lean for the shell? Super lightweight, simple, out of the way.
Yeah. Let me think about that. What's BB Lean?
It's Black Box is...
Oh, did you see that? Woz? There was a little Woz thing. So it's like a window manager on top of
It's
Windows?
just a shell replacement that's much faster than Explorer.
He had a segue. There was a segue briefly. Yeah, I don't want to get too weird. And you know what? We're not going to see the shell because it's always going to be full screen when I show that. So I don't want to put anything weird on there.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I put Launchy on so you can get to Skype quicker if it's closed?
No, I don't want to put. Just have Skype on just like you did here.
On the start menu?
In fact, what you should really do is image. Why it's too late. I was going to suggest you image that, and then you could
It's
blast it
easier
on
just to
faster.
install
Is it?
Windows.
Okay.
They're all
Yeah,
done. Windows is installed on all of them.
and then you got to put Synergy on them too.
Yeah. And choose one to be the server.
I wish I could play this slower. I can't really tell if he's. Is he on a Segway? Yeah, he's on a Segway.
What I thought would be fun is to make one giant background that's cut up into 4 parts for the little quad display.
Oh, that's a good idea. One twit background. Yeah,
So
that
it's
would be
like a
great.
mosaic.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you. That would be a very good idea. So, it's true that you would see the thing is the way it's very minimal. I'm just really nervous about having some. My experience with Windows shells is they impact reliability.
BB Lean is...
It doesn't.
No, I've used it for years.
I bumped Boga. He's still in there? He's gone. Okay. I'm just very nervous about having something non-standard on there. On the other hand, I love the idea of not having an obvious UI on it. But boy, the minute it causes problems,
But the thing
I'm going to be
is-
very upset.
I know, that's why I'm asking.
Well,
Then I'm not going to do it, man.
okay. So
I'm confident not, but
how confident are you?
the thing is, if something else happens,
No,
it's
but
not
the
my
minute
fault, I'm gonna get blamed for the show.
Skype, we don't know. I think it's not worth it because we don't know if Skype starts chattering because BB Lean's eating 50% of the CPU. You would have never noticed that, but now it's doing something weird. So I think that's not. I think that doing something like that on there is probably a bad idea. It's just too risky. What I would like to do is strip it down as much as possible.
That's what
And
I
that's why
think,
Windows
yeah.
7 would be great, but I don't really want to put Windows 7 on
Because
it.
then it's just going to turn off.
And we're using Skype 4. Yeah, we're using Skype 4.
And I'm updating all the drivers. And
I mean, I guess it's
I can put
if you just have Skype be in the quick launch, that's fine.
Well, it's automatically going to launch.
I don't want anything running like Launchy or anything running in the background. It should be as pristine as possible.
Right.
So not one cycle of CPU is devoted to anything but Skype. I mean, that's really the ideal.
Okay.
And then, so just have Skype be in the quick launch.
I mean, the top is Firefox, the next one down is Skype, and everything else is...
Well, I'm saying just put it on the toolbar, on the quick launch toolbar, so it's not even on the screen. And the way this is great.
But the quick launch is really small.
That's fine. I can deal with that, I think. Because it's only going to be the only thing in there, right? So I
And I'll also have it launch with Windows when it starts up.
Yeah, well, Skype will always be running.
Should
So occasionally we'll have to
and
restart
I
it.
set the front buttons on the box to stand by, so when you're done during the day, you just press the front buttons. And it just hibernates, and then you come in, because you don't want to have to go through a full boot setup.
You know what we should get is, yeah, you're right. I was going to say we could power it down with that. They have
I
that
can also
one.
make it hibernate, which takes no power. But I find standby works better.
Hibernate. Well, you know what? We should shut down. Have them shut down. Because we want a fresh boot each time. I think that's also a good idea to reboot every morning.
You don't mind the time? I guess we don't.
No, I turn everything on. Everything's got to boot up anyway. It takes a while. I think it's a good idea to have everything restart. Just start from fresh.
Okay.
Make sure the updates are download but not install.
Okay.
I know I'll get a toolbar saying you got new updates, but I do want to make sure we apply those updates. Yep. You mean like completely disable toolbars?
Just go to the services.
Tooltips. Okay.
Disable
if you can,
automatic updates.
No, I want automatic updates. What I don't want is
you don't want
tooltips.
Yeah, I can make those disappear.
If you can make the tooltips go away.
Tweak UI, which is a
can get rid of those?
tool from Microsoft.
Yeah, I know Tweak
Power
UI.
Toy.
I always thought tooltips were hard to get rid of. What else? Make sure nothing's running in the background. What is that? That's Skype. We don't want it to restart for any reason. That's why you don't want the auto update on. But I do want it to. Well, no, I don't want them even to download in the background because I don't want them to suck up any bandwidth. So I guess
the thing is, we're not cruising the internet on it. So why do we?
Yeah, you're right. Well, periodically we'll want to update them, but.
Yeah, but you can just tell me, Colleen, update.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll just go through the OS. Yeah, so turn off automatic updates.
Yeah.
What else do we want to do with this?
Turn off secondary logon and all those user accounts.
I wonder if we should go through the Black Viper services and turn off a bunch of services.
I've memorized all of those.
Yeah, turn off everything you can. Like, there's no reason to index the hard drive. There's no reason to... Yeah, whatever services we don't need.
Right, I'll turn off secondary logon and multiple user accounts and...
Yeah, any services we don't need. And then put Synergy on all of those.
It's not even going to matter.
And I'll make Synergy...
Here's a question for you, though. Would it be smart to make everything use one core and Skype just use the other core, so it always has its own core at all times?
Can you do that?
Yeah.
You can make everything else, whatever. There shouldn't be anything else running, but...
Right. Well, no, Windows is running.
Yeah.
Give Windows a core and Skype a core.
Yeah, let's do that. That's a good idea.
I know there's a...
Then also, we need to give dedicated ports to each Skype. And then we need to port forward. So, you know what? We might have to move to static IP addresses now because we don't want IP addresses reassigned.
We can...
The other question is, do we want to spend $700 a month to get this Ethernet over the last mile and have that for Skype? You think Comcast will be enough bandwidth? Let's see how it works. If we start getting issues with Comcast, then that might be it. Is Edward in the chat room?
Who's Edward?
Edward Crump from BitGravity.
No.
I just see them talking to somebody named Edward.
Are we using VP6 with BitGravity?
I don't know. They don't use Flash Media Encoder.
Can we ask Edward if it's...
Well, I'd have to call him and ask him that.
Is he in the chat room?
Oh. I don't know. I would be shocked if they were. I'm sure it's H.264.
Would you like the Windows XP bar or the standard Windows Classic?
Classic. And have it disappear. So, right. and turn off icons on the desktop. So the desktop will be clean. Off. Yeah, it'll be a clean desktop. And then having the quarter that the Twit desktop. This one.
If you make it a mosaic.
Yeah, that'd be really great. So that it shows up on the 4 screens. We're going to put behind me. It'll be, we'll readjust the cameras a little bit, but there'll be the 4 15-inch monitors behind me, each with their own 17. Skype. We got 17s, that's right. God, that's going to be huge.
No, they're actually surprisingly small.
It's going to be like to here, maybe 34 inches by 34 inches.
One thing we have to take into account.
That's a yard by a yard.
That's small for me, dude.
I know it's small for you, but we got to fit it on the set. I guess it'll be all right. We'll see how it is.
We'll make it work.
Yeah, if it's too big, you know what we should. Can you bring one down here? Or
Yeah, sure.
well, I'm worried about how big this is going to be back here. I could envision a 30, but I'm worried about a 34. If it towers over me, I guess so. This is such a dead spot here on this shot, for instance.
Well, remember, all of those monitors are raised up off the desk. These could be flat on the desk. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I'll go grab two.
Flat's a little weird. No, don't worry about it. Flat's a little weird, but yeah, I guess you're right.
It's adjustable height. I'm saying you can lower it if you want.
Right. I guess it's such a dead spot on this shot. You won't see it on this shot. It's only, and I'll probably adjust this so this is tighter, so that you'll have another shot. There'll be an additional shot. This shot's always been kind of useless, but in fact, we could set this shot right now.
One of the monitors came, and the upper area is slightly darker than the lower area. I don't think anyone would notice it.
Well, we may have to darken them all down anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to be so bright. So there'll be another shot. So I'll be talking, and then when I go to the Skype shot, there'll be another shot. And it'll be almost like, in fact, I'll probably frame it like this. So it's almost like an like you'd see in a newsroom where there's a graphic, except it won't be a graphic. It'll be a big old 34 by 34.
Now, Dean would really like for us to send them video.
No.
Okay.
No. Why waste our bandwidth sending them video? No, I don't think so. Adam didn't mind that he wasn't seeing me. I don't think people care that much about seeing me.
Because if they want to see, they can look at the stream. Delayed.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. I mean, if they're doing that, I don't want them to do that. I would rather have them...
use all their bandwidth for...
Yeah, I would rather not have them run Stickam or BitGravity and Skype. So that's actually a good point. I guess a lot of people do that. They run Stickam so they can see. All right, then, I know Dick does. The thing is, I hate it because Dick goes, "Oh, now I see it." It's like, Dick, you're an audio podcast. Stop referring to the screen. So that's the problem. And I really almost don't want them to watch the screen at all. And you kind of remember this is audio. You're in audio. The fact that we're streaming videos should be meaningless to you. How hard would it be to put
all I would do is put
video in
little webcams on the side of the
No. What I want them to have is the stream, is what we're sending out.
That's not going to work.
Can't do that. We couldn't split that off.
No, we'd have to use like S-video out into a TV capture card and.
Right.
And then that's.
No. I definitely don't want them to have just a camera of the back of my head or even the front of my head. If we send them video, it would be, and because they'll still watch Stickam then. Because what they want to see is what are people seeing on camera. If we could send them that.
I mean...
Yeah, we'd have to have a video capture in.
Well, what we could do is put cameras like right there and have them... We should just not...
But that's not... But then they're not seeing it. They're seeing this, but they're not seeing what they want to see, which is what is Leo showing.
Right.
They know, the close-up or whatever. It wouldn't be such a bad thing for them to get a feed... But it is complicated. We'd have to, even with those computers...
Think about it, but it's really not going to be worth it.
We'd have to put a video capture card in there. There's a PCI slot in there?
We shouldn't do that. It'll be so much... Screw that.
Is there a slot in there?
Yeah, there's a PCI slot, and there's a lot of USB video capture cards.
Well, we could what if we put a cheap Radeon All-in-Wonder in there? And when we've got plenty of extra signals coming out of here, we've got another S-video signal or two coming out of here. We'd have to split it.
But it's always going to end up in Leo, I can't see you.
Why would it end up that way?
Because there's just going to be you have to enable your video on all of them. And
if they don't know how to do that, then they won't see it. But if they know how to do it, then they could see it.
Okay. If you want me to look into it and test it, I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, The question, it would probably be cheap to get 4 Radeon All-in-Wonders in there,
sure.
Right? Would it really destabilize what we're doing?
I just think that getting the S-video into a driver that looks like a webcam to Skype
right.
might be kind of screwy.
That might not work.
I just don't think that'll be reliable.
In the best of all possible worlds, sending them back down the feed of the show would be a good thing.
So I think we can do that down the road. I would start off not doing that.
Okay.
And once we've got all of our ducks in a row, we can maybe introduce that later.
Right. Yeah, because we would have to, we'd have to get Skype to see it. Is anybody using a video capture card with their with Skype? No, I mean, yeah, what we're doing is not for broadcast in any way, but let's say you're talking to me. Right now, if you're talking to me, if you're on one of the shows, you don't see anything. And you're sending video, but you're getting nothing back from us. So Dane, quite rightly, I think, is saying, well, be nice to send back video, because what happens is they end up watching Stickam, which I really don't want them to do, because then you get the echo, and it uses bandwidth and the delay. And, so this, like, as an example, I'll go to a close-up of something that Dick's talking about, and then I'll come back on me, and then, like, 10 seconds later, Dick will say, oh, yeah, that's it. It's like, it doesn't make sense to anybody. Not to the audio people, not to the video people. It's like out of nowhere. It's a non sequitur. So if I could be sending Dick live video of what I'm showing back, at least when he says, oh, yeah, that's it, it would make sense to the video audience. It still make no sense to the audio audience, but at least it makes sense.
But the thing is that we're going to be doing a lot more stuff that's only Twit Live, where that would be useful.
That's only Twit Live where that would be useful.
Right, not for the audio podcasts. But if, like, Lisa calls in and does an award show or something.
It's only Twit Live that any of this is useful. I mean, there's some moderate use for that's what we're doing this for, is Twit Live.
Right, the video aspect of it.
Right.
But you're still going to want to use the video aspect while doing the audio podcasts.
Yeah.
What kind of keyboard and mouse do you want on the Synergy setup?
They won't have a keyboard and mouse. So I'll just use this, my existing keyboard and mouse.
And turn your head around and...
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I'll use this one, maybe.
So we could use that one as the server.
Right.
The editing machine. And then have the two Synergy boxes just on...
Yeah,
you go off the left of the
easy.
screen and...
Yeah, that works pretty well.
Good.
So I'll put Synergy on this. Synergy doesn't bog down the processor at all, does it?
No, not really.
Is it uploading? Oh, yeah, it's uploading. Okay. Yeah, so there'll be Synergy. Only needs to be Synergy on this. Then we'll be able to see the screens behind me over here. I can turn. I can Skype. I can get 4 Skypes going here. There'll be a 5th Skype going here.
Well, we'll have 6 aux in, so you'll have to unplug either the ISDN or the speaker.
You know another way that we could do it? They could have you could just put cameras on there pointed at the monitor.
Right.
That would be actually much easier, wouldn't it?
But they'd have to have a zoom to get over there.
Or we could just put a little monitor down there or something. That'd actually be the easiest way to do it.
Welcome to Captain Ghetto.
Forget all the all-in-wonder. All I have to do is kind of see what's going on. What could they point at? Where would be it
would be like that.
Is that the best? That's probably the best thing to do. Yeah. We'd have to just get a really long... you'd have to
I would
put
just
like
mount the 4 cameras from
right.
the
Have them
grid,
pointing at that. That's easy. We just have to buy 4 webcams. Quality would be awful, but there'd be something.
That's almost too ghetto for me to put my name on.
Oh, come on. No, the only other thing is that if I then go to a shot of them, they're now looking at themselves. Is that confusing?
No, that's great. You're looking at a shot of yourself.
True, but I'm a trained professional.
It's true. You make this.
Yeah, so that actually would work pretty well.
I actually like looking at myself when I'm doing it because...
Yeah, I mean, Skype always puts that little thing up.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they think people want to see that.
Because camera angles make you look really weird. Like, if I sit in this chair, it's the most unflattering shot of me ever.
Right, so you need to know that what it looks like.
But the reason like this, I just get these dark...
Right. So if you're looking at a monitor, you can see how bad you look.
So if I look up, I can, you know, kind of try to keep the gigantic shadows out of my eye.
We only need one. Okay, should we have 4 webcams, one going to each, or one webcam split?
No, you'd have to have 4. I don't think there's any...
There's no way to do one webcam to 4
really
Skypes.
A two-way thing.
Right. All right. Well, it's a lower priority, but let's keep it in mind. It would be a nice thing. I would love to be able to say, please, whatever you do, don't watch Stickam. Yeah, those 7-inch USB touchscreen monitors, they're like $1,000.
Yeah, they are.
I looked at those. No, we got cheap. We got, what are they, $130 17-inch monitors? They were really cheap.
Yeah, they're $100.
Yeah.
$99 each.
And we're just going to put them. We got. This is cool. I'd never seen this, but Colleen knew about it. The Visa mount that's quad. So we just have a quad mount, and we put this mount, this arm here, and it's got 4. It holds 4, and you can even like move them around. So
yeah,
you can, which we're gonna have fun with. I think that's actually gonna look pretty cool.
You've gotta come to my warehouse sometime and see the ridiculous mounts. That
Well, I've seen pictures of it.
Well, no, that's not the only stuff we've done.
Oh, cool.
Like Don has a 47-inch plasma hanging right over his bed. And we made another one integrated into some furniture that Bodhi had. And
this is so Mad Max.
I'm building one on...
It's very postmodern.
I'm building one on rails so that I can slide the TV around the room and point it at me. So
Cool.
I can like have it in bed or near my little office space or whatever.
Okay, now here's another question. What if I'm only talking to one person, which I'll be doing half the time? What do? We just have them in a corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. What were you thinking?
Well, they're only in the corner, but you always can switch to their main shot. And also, the guys that don't have that are going to have their pictures on their Skype buddy list thing right there. It's still going to look good. Maybe you can even find some cool Skype call software where if you don't have video...
Yeah, maybe we should have other things going on in the background there. That'd be kind of fun. We could even just fake like Matrix or whatever. Yeah. Maybe just have a Matrix screensaver.
No, that's easy. There's actually a free Matrix screensaver that they did for the movie back in the day.
If we put it... So where should we put it? Like in the... Well, actually, I could just continue to use this one if it's a one-person one.
Sure.
Then I won't have this. I'll only have the over-the-shoulder shot if we have a multicam.
But say we want to do 4. What would you be using this laptop for other than that?
Well, one thing this laptop could be good for is screen, you know, when I'm showing stuff on the screen, because this one doesn't have that problem.
Because it's smooth.
Right. So if I'm showing something on the screen, this one is definitely the one to use. Stickam doesn't like us anymore. Stickam hates me.
You're not on top?
Not only am I not on top, I'm not on the list. Somebody doing Twit Talk .tv is on the list. Oh well, I guess that was to be expected. We are still streaming, right?
They're faking that. They're just feeding it back to us. Anyone in Northern California.
Nobody can see you, Leo. The Donkey Show.
I don't even want to know.
Eric the Actor. Free Talk Live. Yeah, they're not showing us anything on the list anymore. I guess they're mad at us. Oh well. Oh well. That's live. We still love Stickam. We're not mad at Stickam. We just decided that the exclusive wasn't a good deal for us because when we lost an entire day of programming with no recourse,
2 days.
2 days, we kind of got screwed. So we wanted to have multiple sources.
I mean, we want to keep Stickam.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we want to keep
Not
sending out
leaving
stuff
them.
on Stickam. We just want to be able to do another one, Stickam and another
Backup.
one. Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So the reason, Nico, we want to do 4 monitors is we can't currently have. If we have many shows where there's a panel of 4 or 5 people, and I want to have that pictures of each of those 4 or 5 people. So when if this isn't ghetto, I don't know what's ghetto. We built 4 Skype boxes.
That is not ghetto.
Each with their own Skype.
No, that is not ghetto. I'm sorry.
That's pretty ghetto.
No.
I mean, anybody smart would have solved it by
Virtual machines or something like that?
No, you can't. No, it's the only way to do it.
This is the right
Somebody
way
said
to
you
do
could
it.
hack Skype, or you could use a Uvu or something. But
Well, the way you hack Skype is that you use multiple user accounts, and then you set up 4 user accounts on your machine, and then you run as a different user. So you can have 4 Skypes running, but you can't switch to it really easily. You'd have to have like 4 workspaces and switch between the workspaces.
yeah.
It wouldn't work well. You want to be able
No,
to...
I think this is going to work.
With this,
Hey,
we
I
can
want to
double
test
box.
that the S video switch. To see how
You want to do it right now?
now?
It's passive. You could plug it in without...
What would
doing
we feed it from?
Plug in
We
the-
need 2 S video.
Plug in this and the gadget shot and play with it.
Is that? Oh yeah, I could take that. Okay, yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could go wrong? I think it's going to be kind of fun because what we'll have now is and this has always been kind of dead space anyway, is you'll have this giant thing here, and Dvorak, Gilmore, Scoble, or whoever we're talking to, or Andy, Alex, Merlin, Scott, and so whoever I'm talking to, and they'll be there as I'm talking. They'll be there, and I can turn to them, and then we can go to a single shot of them. I think it'll be cool. I actually, come to think of it, I really can see why they'd want to have this on the front page of Stickam. It looks like she's taking off her clothes. Oh no, she's buttoning it up again. Oh, now they put me on the front. Thank you, Stickam. I love you. See, I told them I loved them, and they put me back on the front page. There you go. There you go. Right up there on the front. Well, that's a guy. Oh, God. It's a guy. Ooh. Okay, let's see here. So this is a passive S-video switcher, which costs all of $17.
Clunk, clunk. All it does is connect the
So
wires.
you might have this in your house.
And so it's not a vertical interval switcher, so you might be able to glitch it if you catch it in the middle of a frame.
Right. Well, that's fine. I mean, I'm sure I will be able to glitch it.
Right.
So let me put this on 6. Okay, I'm going under the desk. Ah!
So I've been doing a lot of reading of AV, like really professional broadcast AV stuff. Yeah. And so what we want in our dreams is a 16 by 8 S-video vertical interval router. And what that would allow us to do is have like 4 different sets, or 5 different sets. And we choose which cameras we want and which channels we want them to go in the TriCaster.
Well, what you really want is 4 different sets, each with its own TriCaster, going into one master TriCaster. And then the master TriCaster can switch from set to set, and on sets, you could switch cameras in the sets.
Yeah, you could do that with one TriCaster, though.
How would you do it with one TriCaster? Because
just
you want to
dial into
switch...
you just dial into the TriCaster from the other room. Just
Yeah,
as if
each
it's-
studio needs its own TriCaster.
Right, but you could like VNC from the other room.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is each... Yeah, okay, so I could eliminate one. But each studio needs its own TriCaster. You're right, because all we'd be using this TriCaster for is switching. All right, now where does that S-video come from? Oh, yeah, that's this one.
And also, I don't think having TriCasters in a series would help reliability so much as having a hardware router.
Reliability.
I think one of the world's biggest failings is the phrase, "Oh, we'll do it in software."
Yeah, no, I agree. But the TriCaster's been a great thing for us. I'm not...
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
don't
no, no,
think we'd be come even close to what we're doing if we had a hardware switcher. Not to mention that it costs 10 or 20.
It's a love-hate relationship. I love it. I just...
It's been pretty reliable.
It's like if you have your parents, you're going to gripe about it, but
It's
you
been
don't
pretty
want them to
reliable,
leave.
hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been
Okay.
reliable. Every so often we get, a glitch, but it's not that big.
So what am I switching between? Okay. Whoops.
Are you feeding?
What am I switching between? What is... Okay. Into, out. Skype 1. That's this, right? Isn't that...
Yeah, make sure it's feeding it.
Is it not plugged behind there? It's pretty fast. I mean, there's a little jump, but it's not bad. Well, it's no, I can't. I guess I could. So is that not working though? I mean, I don't.
It's plugged in. Just make sure it's done in software.
See, all these cameras are I can reach it. They're all, kind of tied into it. I need a mat and stuff. Which one is slack? This one's slack. This is camera 4. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's fine. See, I mean, there's the VBI. Oh, hello. I broke it. The hell? Oh, there. I just loosened it. That's as good as a TriCaster. It's a little noisy.
No, I mean the glitch is. I mean the
It is a little
TriCaster
glitch.
is a vertical interval switch.
Right. There's a little glitch. But see, I won't generally, unless I've screwed up, switch. I'll switch like this.
Right.
Oops. Whoops.
You'll get the muscle memory down. Just give it a couple of times.
So I'll go here. I don't know. What do you think, number 2? Oh, I think it's really a good idea. What do you think, number 3? Oh, I think it's a really good idea. But number 2, yes? What do you think? Oh, God, it's terrible. Maybe number 1 has an idea. Yeah, I feel like Michael Scott for some reason.
Now, I can try to make that a lot quieter.
Yes, that's the main thing we got to do. It's just ridiculously noisy.
And there's a bunch of other ones that
But it was $17, folks.
we can find one that's not as noisy. Or I can modify that one to be less noisy.
You know what? You get the same thing with the TriCaster if you switch too fast. If you use the ready button, it syncs it up. But if you don't, you get that same thing. But this works fine. I wonder what the noise thing is. Is there like a clicker we could? You probably need to.
No, the noise is because what happens is when you push the next one down, the other one shoots up because it's all mechanical. There's no circuitry in there other than...
There's even like a faux red light that's really not a
It's
light.
plastic.
It's a piece of red plastic.
that shoots up with...
But the advantage of this is you don't have to plug it in. I mean, it just,
It's not going to fail either.
It's never going to fail.
And it's $17.
See, it looks like a red light came on, but it's not. It's a piece of red plastic.
When you push it down, that flops up. But there's lots of...
So
other
if I
ones.
held this in position and pressed it, it'd be yeah, okay. So I could make it quiet.
Well, what I want to do is just stick a little bit of padding on the top so it goes
Yeah.
rather than snap.
Hey, I can't believe how well that works, to be honest with you. Oh, we're on the front page of Stickam.
Yay!
My life is complete. Oh, except I can't show it because I unplugged everything. Ugh. This is a problem. I need a patch bay.
Well, what I would love to do down the road is rack mount everything in those closets.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And
then but how would I control? I mean, I don't want it to go into the closet just to change.
no, that we would just remove the doors from their hinges by pulling the pin out.
What? Oh, you mean to have it visible?
Yeah. That'd be wicked cool. Victorian, full of tech, and then you could make it out of like copper and have it perfectly mix in.
I like that idea. So it's behind me right here,
I'll show you
and it's just a rack mount there of blinking lights. I like that. I think that would work well.
So we pull the pins out of the hinges right here,
Yeah. Oh, I know I can take the doors off.
and then a rack mount's about this wide.
Would it fit?
We put them right here. Oh yeah, it's deep enough. And then the only...
Is it deep enough?
Yeah, absolutely. That's about 1 U.
Well, there's a big difference between about and not about.
No, but there's different...
I don't want it to stick out.
Like
Will the TriCaster fit? I don't think it's not deep enough.
I can go grab the little bay and we can look at it.
But we're just at measuring tape. I mean, that doesn't look that deep.
Well,
But if it could go in there, yeah, I like that. And so you'd have all the lights here. Instead of going under the desk, you'd see me reach over here and do stuff. I like that. That's a great idea.
Since it's bigger than that, what we'll do is have very big, slow-moving fans cooling it, so you suck in down the air.
Yeah.
And have
I like that idea. That's a great idea. In fact, maybe we should do that instead of moving this stuff over on the other
That's
to the
what I
other
think we
side.
should do.
Well, let's
So
do that.
Everything would be gone out of here. We could even stick the new Skype computers in mini ITX rack mount cases, and rack mount those.
I like it. I don't love it. I like it. Can I? Yes, absolutely. I'm going to wrap up here because I've just been handed. I've just been handed
From the box.
a note from the boss.
And we could also rack mount the that gateway in the next case.
What gateway?
Your editing computer.
This one?
Recording, yeah.
You mean that one? This one?
Far left, over by the curtains.
That one?
Everything can be rack mounted except for the laptops.
I don't think it's deep enough. Is my question. But let's see if it fits. If it fit,
I will measure it in 5 minutes.
yeah. If that fit, well, I'm gonna go into reruns anyway. If that fit, that would be really cool because this is really dead space here.
Right.
I would love to have that be the TriCaster and the. Well, some stuff might not fit. I mean, like the Aphex would fit. A lot of it would fit. So let's put what we can in there. That's great.
The other thing we could do with the TriCaster is, since I would be custom making it, we could
Yes,
have
I'll
the
reboot.
TriCaster sideways, so you can access the back and the front.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. We do need to reach the back and the front.
Well, yeah.
It would definitely fit in sideways. But it's designed to be rack mounted. It's got the handles there. Actually, none of these have. That doesn't have ears. What do you do? How do you make that rack
There's a
mounted?
custom thing that it sits in. It's not.
Ah, cool. Oh, cool. Yeah, I like that idea.
So cool.
What could we rack mount? We would rack mount the TriCaster, the
Skype.
Aphex, the Skype computers.
Your gateway.
Does that need to be rack mounted?
I would. It'd be better cooled. It'd be out of the way. It would be.
Well, it's out of the. It couldn't be more out of the way over there. And it's cool. It's got its own window.
And it's covered in blankets.
Yeah, but if the window's open, it's got ventilation.
And if you use a compressor, that is the compressor. If you use a big bottom or whatever, you could rack mount this in like over there alone with its own cooling system.
I wouldn't mind. Well, if we've got decent cooling, or if there's separation, I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, but the cabinet's going to be open, so it's not going to get. It's not going to be.
Spaces in between
Yeah,
the rack
and the
mounts.
cabinet's going to be open, and there's ventilation. I don't think that'll be any hotter in there than it would be here. Or maybe if it would, we should keep it there.
And then I would sound that in the back area.
Yeah, no, let's do it. That's a great project. I like that. I like that a lot.
And isn't it great that I live in a metal fabrication warehouse?
It's so great that you live in a metal fabrication. I can't tell you, Colleen, how happy I am that you live in a metal fabrication warehouse.
Next time you make fun of me,
I'm not making fun of you. You could hit me with a metal bar that you made yourself.
yeah, I don't cast the metal.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm absolutely sincere. I am so sincere when I say I am happy that you live in a metal fabrication warehouse. She stabbed me. So my new reading tonight, I'm going to go home and read this. JavaScript, the missing manual, and JavaScript, the good parts. But here's the funny thing. Okay, JavaScript, the missing manual, it's a thick book. 500 plus pages. Apparently a good book, uses jQuery. I'm trying to learn jQuery. This all started because we interviewed this stupid jQuery guy, and now I got to learn JavaScript so I can anyway, so this is JavaScript. This is like kind of an introduction to JavaScript. This is JavaScript, the good bits. It's like 100 pages. JavaScript, the full language, 500 pages. JavaScript, just the good stuff, 100 pages. I find, you know me, I like languages, and I like to program it's kind of like a hobby. I haven't done much programming lately, but the last thing I wrote probably was that AppleScript thing. Occasionally I write Perl and AppleScript programs to do little utilities and stuff. And it just keeps my hand in, and it keeps my brain active because I'm afraid of going senile. More senile. But Python, Ruby, Perl, all these languages, Lua, even was going to learn Lisp. What's the most practical language you could learn today? JavaScript. With it, you can write web applications. You can write widgets. All these widgets are in JavaScript. I know C. It's very similar to C. I mean, okay, admittedly, JavaScript is ugly. DOM is weird. Non-standard. There's a lot of weird extensions. Actually, that's the premise of this book, which I think is a really good idea. Douglas Crockfield wrote it. He's at Yahoo. And his premise is just use this. This is like just the safe stuff, the good stuff to use. So. Oh, yeah. Now Nightstar wants me to use his lower thirds. Okay. I'm sure DOM will be very natural. It's objects. I can understand objects. Steve Gibson hates JavaScript. No, I said it's not accurate. Steve Gibson hates scripting languages on web pages. All right, I have to do a few things, including shut down the computer and put a new hard drive in, copy some stuff over for you for reruns, put Nightstar's things in there, restart Stickam. So I'm going to shut everything down. It will be gone for a few minutes. I'll be back in a little bit. Or just refresh. Is Twit down? Is Twit still down? Another wonderful thing. And I'm going to talk to Dane. Good. Twit Live's working. Now let's see. Is it ping? Is it go? Where's it going? It's still going to the old server, but that's okay. At least it's working. Okay. So it's okay if I shut down Stickam then. I will be right back, Stickam folks. Give me 15 minutes because I have to do a bunch of stuff. And I'll refresh and then we'll go into reruns.